Let's talk about what life is like as a digital real estate landlord. First and foremost, how freaking dope does that sound? Digital real estate landlord. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty cool title, pretty cool job, pretty cool career, okay? First of all, I want to say this as I'm getting into this, and I want to tell you about like the differences I've seen as now. That is literally what I would consider myself. If I was telling someone, hey, what, everyone asks, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Well, first thing I do is I tell them, I'm like, hey, I sell drugs. And I'm totally kidding. And I tell them that, I'm like, yeah, I'm actually kidding. But if I were to tell you and try to explain it, I'd be like, I'm a landlord. I'm a digital real estate landlord, right? And so I want to tell you about like what life is like. And I've done the other stuff. I've been in this position where I own an agency, right? I'm a marketing agency. I'm this, I'm that, whatever, right? No, I am a digital real estate landlord. I want to tell you about it. First of all, though, I want to just make sure we're on the same page. And I truly believe that nothing is completely passive. Nothing. Okay. I don't think real estate's completely passive. I don't think digital real estate's completely passive. There's nothing that's completely passive. Okay. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And the second thing I want to tell you is that for me, I want to be very clear is I think some people, they're like, hey, I only work X amount of hours. I only do this. I only do that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't work, because I work. And I love working. I love working because I like going to bed knowing, hey, I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z things. I did them, and it moved me closer to my goal. And if I'm not growing, I feel like I'm dying. So I love it. So I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, like I'm not doing anything. I'm rubbing cocoa butter on my belly, whatever. No, I'm working. I'm getting up. I'm hitting the gym. I'm making moves. I'm putting things in place. That is what I love to do, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So it is a choice. If I wanted to structure it more a different way, where it was like, how do I get as much freedom and how do I get away from working and do as little work as possible? This business model would be the perfect business model for that, but that's not what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in eliminating work. I freaking love to work. I just want to do work that I have a lot of leverage with, that I can make a huge impact on my bank account and on the things that I want to do with the people around me that I care about, okay? So those are the two things that I want to say. And I just want to mention a couple of things, okay? First of all, I've done the other side of this. I've been the agency owner. I've had the clients. I've done that stuff. And I want to tell you that the biggest thing with being a digital real estate landlord rather than an agency owner, and by the way, just to define a digital real estate landlord, what I mean by that, for those of you that are new, that means I own hundreds of digital assets, these tiny websites. These websites generate leads in niches like concrete, tree service, spray foam insulation, awnings, pools, pool clean, whatever. And I rent these websites out to local businesses. I collect checks or I collect credit cards. Their cards are banged every single week. And I just manage that, okay? I'm a landlord over that. And I do have, if you want to talk about it in real estate terms, I have a property manager, AKA my project manager, that runs everything. And I'm basically collecting the check and overseeing things. That is what I do, okay? Just for anybody that doesn't know, I'm a digital real estate landlord. And this is what my life is like, okay? So I just want to clarify those things. But I have done the opposite. I want to share what life was like before. Life as an agency owner, life as somebody that was chasing SEO, life as somebody that was chasing new website deals, life as somebody that was trying to get the social media management and all these different things, okay? It was stress. Okay, I remember a time being in a SeaWorld, okay? We went to SeaWorld, and I think it was Disneyland on this specific trip with the family. And I remember being, literally, you guys, if you've been there, there's like the dolphin show or whatever, maybe it's the whale show. And I got a call, and it was from my client. And at the time, this was an SEO client. This was a large SEO client. This is a client that was paying me $4K per month, okay? And I remember getting this call, and my stomach dropped. Because at the time I wasn't making that much money. I was probably making $10K gross. This is before any expenses. So $4K, we're talking about over 30% of my business was from this one client. He's calling me. So I turned to my wife and I said, hey, I gotta go answer this. And I first of all, that sucks, because if you're hanging out with your family, your friends, whatever, and you don't want to have to answer the phone, you shouldn't have to. But I'm telling you, if I hadn't answered the phone, I would have just been more stressed. So I go down the stairs, I walked behind like the bleachers or the seating, whatever, and I remember answering the phone, and I knew the second I answered that there was problems, and this guy was calling to cancel. Okay? And keep in mind, this is 40% of my revenue, right? 40%, and I remember just like being so sick to my stomach. I'm on a vacation, first of all. Now the vacation's ruined. Now I'm sitting there going, oh, well, should we even be spending the money on the vacation? How can I replace the client? You could see how this would start to just really spook you. And guys, this was a very like terrifying moment. I had bills, I had kids, I want to provide a good life for them. Guys, it sucked. And I remember that whole trip, that day was ruined. I was shot. I was on my phone the whole time. Then that night we got back on the phone like, hey, let's just talk tonight. And we got back on the phone. And sure enough, he's like, yeah, we're canceling. Trip ruined. Okay. And it was terrible. It sucked. That was what life was like. I also remember going to Africa to just visit, because I used to live in West Africa. And I remember the whole time I was there, all I could think about, because there wasn't service. I mean, we're in a different continent. There's no service. All I could think about is when I get back to the hotel and I turn on my phone and I get Wi-Fi, how many people are going to cancel? How many deals have I lost? How much money have I lost because I've been gone? And guys, there was a time I was in Africa. I got back to the hotel and I got a call from somebody that worked for me, and they're like, hey, our phone got shut off because the bill wasn't paid because your card expired or whatever it was, or because it wasn't on auto pay. And our phones have been off all day. So all the leads that were supposed to come in from these sites, because we had mainly, so at the time it was consisted of SEO clients and a little bit of pay per lead, because I was starting to realize, gosh, we got to get into this lead gen, but I didn't realize flat fee was the game. And I got a call, said, hey, the phone's been off. So I'm like, oh my gosh, could this get any worse? And I'm halfway across the world so the stress level was insane. And I want to compare that to this year. In March, this past March, a couple months ago, me and my family, we booked a spot down in Cancun, went down with my kids, my wife, my in-laws. We spent like 4 or 5 days at this resort, okay? I did almost no work. I did 1 or 2 live streams, and that's about it, okay? We came home for 48 hours. By the way, nobody canceled, right? Because I own the website. I own the assets. I didn't stress. We had a great time. We came home 48 hours, washed our clothes, took our kids to the babysitter. Or no, we had our babysitter fly in as our niece. And my parents picked us up and we went to West Africa, okay? And we spent 10 days between traveling and hanging out and checking on the VA team and just going on hikes. And it was awesome. And I will tell you, I did a couple of calls, very few, but they were my choice. There's sales calls that I could have put off, but I was like, I want to make sure that we're not losing, potential money, but I didn't lose any current clients. We traveled home, and then I got home and it was spring, and I have a really bad allergy issue. And so there was all this pollen in the air, and I told my wife, I got to get out of town. I can't, I'm just dying. I'm laying down all day because I can't even function. So I picked up, 48 hours later, I went to Vegas for, 4 or 5 days. That was my March. That was my entire month. And guys, I made the same amount of money in March as I did in February. And I made the same amount in April as I did in March. I didn't stress. My vacations were awesome. I wasn't worried. If I got phone calls, I just ignored them. I was like, I'm on vacation. I was on vacation like vacation should be. And I would say more than anything, the difference between being an agency owner and being hey, I own an online business. Oh, hey, I have a side hustle, and being a digital real estate landlord and having digital rental properties, and being a rank and rent in this business is the level of stress. Because I know that if my client calls me right now and says, hey, I'm canceling, you know what I'm going to say? Okay. I'm going to go sell those leads to your competitor. Okay. And if that doesn't help get the deal back, I really will. I own the asset. I own the website. I own the domain. I own the leads. It's not like SEO. It's not like website management. It's not like social media management where if they cancel, I'm screwed. I own the property. It's like I have a tenant in an apartment. Yeah, it sucks if they move out, but guess what? I'm going to put somebody right back in and make that money right back. So guys, more than anything, I could go into my day-to-day and what I do, but I don't think most people that get into this business get in it to just like, I think most get in it because they want to work as little as possible. And I'm gonna be honest, like that's not what I want to do. I love working. I'm just using this as a vehicle because it's so scalable. I'm trying to make as much money as I can to go as big as I can. And so I just want to say the biggest thing, the life of being a digital real estate landlord is a low stress life. It's a life where you're not wondering if you're going to be able to pay next month's bills. You're not wondering if your client's canceling. You're not wondering if you should be on that vacation. And guys, if you haven't already been convinced that this is the best business model on the internet, go freaking check out our Facebook group. Go check out our Discord channel. Go watch one of the hundreds, well, it's not hundreds, but over 100 case studies at this point of people that have gotten to this business, have taken my program and have literally added incredible amounts of money, semi-passive income streams to their lives. Go check it out, and I'll see you there.